When we speak about the Seerah, we are not simply revisiting a series of historical events or reflecting on a personality confined to the past. We are engaging with a living model, a complete and dynamic blueprint that speaks to every dimension of human existence. The life of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, was not lived in isolation from the struggles, responsibilities, and complexities that define human life. Rather, it was lived in the marketplace, within the family, among friends and enemies, in times of peace and in moments of intense conflict. And this is precisely why it remains so profoundly relevant today. Think about the world we live in. We are constantly searching for balance between work and family, between ambition and ethics, between personal success and social responsibility. Many people feel fragmented, as if different parts of their lives are pulling them in conflicting directions. Yet when we turn to the Seerah, we find a life that was perfectly integrated. There was no contradiction between spirituality and practicality, no separation between faith and daily living. Every action, every decision, every interaction was guided by a higher purpose, yet firmly grounded in reality. Consider how he conducted himself in his personal life. As a husband, he was gentle, attentive, and emotionally intelligent. He listened, he helped with household tasks, and he showed affection openly, qualities that many today struggle to embody, even with all our modern discourse on relationships. As a father, he was nurturing and compassionate, never distant or harsh. He balanced authority with mercy, teaching through example rather than mere instruction. These are not just idealistic stories. They are practical lessons for anyone trying to build a healthy family in today's fast-paced and often disconnected world. Then look at his role in society. Before prophethood, he was already known for his integrity. People trusted him with their wealth, their disputes, their most sensitive matters. In an age where trust is eroding, where credibility is often sacrificed for short-term gain, this aspect of the Seerah becomes incredibly powerful. It teaches us that success is not just about what we achieve, but about who we are when no one is watching. It reminds us that character is not an accessory to success, it is the foundation of it, and when he entered the realm of leadership, the scope of his example expanded even further. He was not leading in ideal conditions. He was leading in a society filled with division, injustice, and deep-rooted traditions that resisted change. Yet he transformed that society not through force alone, but through wisdom, patience, and an unshakable commitment to principles. He consulted others, even when he could have acted independently. He empowered his companions, giving them a sense of ownership and responsibility. This is leadership that is not authoritarian, but transformational, a model that modern leaders desperately need. In business and economic dealings, the Seerah offers equally profound guidance. He was honest in trade, transparent in transactions, and fair even when it meant less profit. Today, we live in an environment where cutting corners can seem like the norm, where ethical compromises are often justified as necessary for survival. Yet the Seerah challenges this mindset. It shows that ethical integrity is not a barrier to success. It is the very means through which true and lasting success is achieved. What makes the Seerah truly remarkable, however, is not just that it covers all these areas, but that it does so in a way that is deeply human. There were moments of joy and celebration, and there were moments of grief and hardship. There were victories that brought relief, and there were losses that tested patience. And in all of these moments, we see a consistent pattern: a reliance on faith, a commitment to values, and a refusal to let circumstances dictate character. This is where the timelessness of the Seerah becomes most evident. It does not present an unrealistic, unattainable ideal. It presents a lived example, one that acknowledges human emotion, human struggle, and human limitation, while constantly guiding towards excellence. It tells us that you can be spiritual without withdrawing from the world, that you can be ambitious without losing your Arabic, Alif Arabic, Get Arabic, Lam Arabic, Alif Arabic, Af, that you can engage with society without being consumed by its flaw. And perhaps one of the most important lessons for us today is this idea of purpose. In the modern world, many people are busy, but not necessarily fulfilled. They achieve milestones, but still feel a sense of emptiness. The Seerah addresses this by anchoring every aspect of life in a higher purpose. Work is not just about earning, it is about Arabic, Get Arabic, Dal Arabic, Mim Arabic, Tet Ma'but. Relationships are not just about companionship, they are about Arabic, Rot Arabic, Het Arabic, Mim Arabic, Tet Ma'but. Leadership is not about control, it is about responsibility. When purpose enters the equation, even the simplest actions gain meaning. So, when we say that the Seerah is a complete blueprint, we are not exaggerating. It is a guide for the Arabic, Alif Arabic, Lam Arabic, Fa Arabic, Rot Arabic, Dal, and for the Arabic, Alif Arabic, Lam Arabic, Mim Arabic, Jim Arabic, Ta Arabic, Mim Arabic, Deen, for moments of strength and moments of weakness, for times of clarity and times of confusion. It does not demand that we replicate every historical detail, but it calls us to embody the principles that shaped those actions, principles that are as relevant now as they were then. And if we truly internalize this, if we begin to see the Seerah not as distant history, but as practical guidance, then something remarkable happens. Our decisions become more grounded, our relationships more meaningful, our goals more aligned with what truly matters. We stop compartmentalizing our lives and instead begin to live with a sense of coherence and direction. Because at the end of the day, the Seerah is not just something we study, it is something we live. And when we live it sincerely, it transforms not only who we are, but the world around us. If we take that foundation of the Seerah as a complete way of life, the very next question that naturally arises is this: what is the core quality that holds all of it together? What is the thread that connects personal life, leadership, relationships, and society? And the answer becomes clear when we study the life of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. It is character. It is integrity. It is the unwavering commitment to truth and trust, even when the world around you normalizes the opposite. We live in a time where success is often measured by results alone. If someone is wealthy, they are admired. If someone is influential, they are followed. If someone achieves visibility, they are celebrated. But rarely do we pause and ask, at what cost? How was that success achieved? What compromises were made along the way? In many cases, honesty is seen as optional, and integrity is treated as a luxury, something you uphold only when it is convenient. And this is exactly where the Seerah confronts us with a powerful alternative. Long before prophethood, even before revelation descended, the prophet, peace be upon him, had already earned titles from his society, titles that were not given lightly. He was known as as-Sadiq and Al-Amin, the truthful and the trustworthy. These were not labels he claimed for himself. They were titles given to him by people who observed him in everyday life. In business transactions, in social interactions, in private dealings, he was consistent. He did not shift his values based on circumstance. He did not present one face in public and another in private. He was the same person wherever he was. And that consistency is what built trust. Today, one of the biggest crises we face is a crisis of trust. People do not trust institutions. Employees do not trust employers. Citizens do not trust leaders. Even in personal relationships, there is often doubt and suspicion. And when trust erodes, everything else begins to crumble. Because trust is the foundation upon which all meaningful relationships are built. The Seerah teaches us that trust is not built overnight. It is built through small, consistent actions. Through keeping your word even when it is difficult. Through being honest even when a lie might seem easier. Through fulfilling responsibilities even when no one is watching. And perhaps one of the most powerful aspects of this is that the Prophet, peace be upon him, maintained his integrity even when it worked against him in the short term. There were moments when telling the truth brought difficulty, when standing firm on principles led to loss, when refusing to compromise meant facing opposition. Yet he never wavered, because for him integrity was not negotiable. It was not something to be adjusted based on benefit. It was something to be upheld because it was right. Now compare that to the mindset that often dominates today. We justify small lies because everyone does it. We cut corners because it's necessary to survive. We bend the truth because it doesn't really harm anyone. But over time, these small compromises accumulate. They shape our character, they redefine our Arabic, het Arabic, dal Arabic, wa Arabic, dal. And before we realize it, we are no longer anchored by principles. We are drifting with circumstances. The Seerah pulls us back from that drift. It reminds us that true success is not just about reaching a destination. It is about the path we take to get there. It reminds us that Arabic, rot Arabics, gain Arabic, af is not just about how much we earn, but how we earn it. It reminds us that respect is not demanded, it is earned through consistency and authenticity. And what is remarkable is that this integrity was not limited to interactions with those who supported him. It extended even to those who opposed him. Even his enemies trusted him with their belongings. Even those who rejected his message could not deny his honesty. Imagine that for a moment. Imagine living in such a way that even those who disagree with you, even those who criticize you, still recognize your truthfulness. This is a level of character that transcends personal gain. It is a level of character that leaves a lasting impact. And this is where the relevance to our modern lives becomes undeniable. Whether you are a student, a professional, an entrepreneur, or a leader, your greatest asset is not just your skill set. It is your character. Skills can open doors, but character determines how long those doors remain open. Talent can bring opportunity, but integrity sustains it. In workplaces today, people often focus on performance metrics, on achieving targets, on climbing the ladder. And while these are important, they are not enough, because without integrity, success becomes fragile. It becomes dependent on maintaining an image rather than embodying reality, and eventually that image cracks. But when integrity is present, something different happens. You may not always be the fastest to succeed, but your success is stable. You may not always take the easiest path, but your path is meaningful. You may not always gain immediate recognition, but you gain something far more valuable: credibility. And credibility cannot be bought, it cannot be faked, it is earned slowly through consistency. The Seerah also teaches us humility as an essential part of integrity. Because sometimes the greatest threat to honesty is not external pressure, it is internal ego. It is the desire to appear better than we are. It is the reluctance to admit mistakes. It is the fear of Arabic, Noon Arabic, Af Arabic, Saida Arabic, Halif Arabic, Noon in status. But the Prophet, peace be upon him, showed us that true strength lies in humility, in acknowledging when you are wrong, in seeking forgiveness, in correcting yourself without hesitation. This balance between confidence and humility is something many struggle with today. On one hand, we are encouraged to promote ourselves, to build our image, to highlight our strengths. On the other hand, this can easily slip into arrogance or self-deception. The Seerah provides a middle path, a way to be confident without being Arabic. Ain Arabic, Rot Arabic, Wow Arabic, Rot to be self-aware without being insecure. And when we begin to internalize these qualities, we start to notice a shift not just in how others perceive us, but in how we perceive ourselves. There is a sense of peace that comes with integrity, a sense of clarity, because you are no longer juggling different versions of yourself. You are no longer worried about being found out. You are simply living in alignment with your values. This alignment is deeply empowering because it frees you from the Daida Arabic, Ain Arabic, heart of constantly maintaining appearances. It allows you to focus on what truly matters. It gives you the courage to make decisions based on principles, rather than fear or convenience. And ultimately, this is what the Seerah calls us toward: not perfection, but sincerity, not flawlessness, but consistency in striving for what is right. It acknowledges that we will make mistakes, that we will fall short, that we will struggle, but it teaches us to return, to correct, to realign. So in a world where honesty is often compromised, where trust is fragile, where appearances can overshadow reality, the Seerah stands as a powerful reminder that character is not outdated. It is essential, that integrity is not a weakness, it is a strength, that truthfulness is not a liability, it is a foundation. And when we choose to embody these values, even in small ways, we begin to rebuild something that the world desperately needs: trust, authenticity, and a sense of moral clarity. Because at the end of the day, it is not just what we achieve that defines us, but who we become in the process. And once we begin to ground ourselves in character and integrity, another reality of life inevitably comes into focus. No matter how principled, how sincere, or how committed a person is, they will face challenges. Difficulty is not a sign that something has gone wrong. It is part of the design of life itself. And this is where the Seerah offers not just inspiration, but deeply practical guidance on how to navigate hardship, pressure, and emotional struggle. When we study the life of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, we quickly realize that his journey was not one of ease. In fact, some of the most intense forms of hardship that any human can experience were part of his life. Rejection from his own people, the loss of loved ones, public ridicule, physical harm, moments of isolation. These were not occasional interruptions, they were recurring realities. And yet what stands out is not just the hardship itself, but how he responded to it. Today, we live in a world that is increasingly aware of mental health, stress, anxiety, and emotional well-being. People are more open about their struggles, which is a positive shift. But at the same time, many are searching for ways to cope, ways to find stability in a world that often feels overwhelming. And it is here that the Seerah becomes profoundly relevant, because it does not ignore emotional pain. It acknowledges it, and then shows us how to rise through it. There is a moment in the Seerah that captures this beautifully. A year so difficult that it became known as the Year of Sorrow. Within a short span of time, the Prophet, peace be upon him, lost two of the closest sources of support in his life. His beloved wife Khadija Arabic, Rot Arabic, Daida Arabic, Yet Arabic, Halif Arabic, Lam Arabic, Ha Arabic, Tain Arabic, Noon Arabic, Ha Arabic Khalif, and his uncle Abu Talib. One was his emotional anchor, the other his external protector. And with their passing, he was left exposed emotionally and socially. Now pause and think about that. This is not just a historical detail. This is Arabic, Halif Arabic, Noon Arabic, Sin Arabic, Halif Arabic, Noon Arabic, Farsi yet grief. This is loss that cuts deep. And the Seerah does not gloss over it. It does not present him as someone untouched by pain. He felt it. He experienced sadness, he went through moments of deep difficulty, but what did he do with that pain? He did not allow it to define him. He did not let it turn into bitterness or despair. Instead, he channeled it into patience, into perseverance, and most importantly, into a deeper connection with Allah. When doors closed in Mecca, he sought opportunities elsewhere. When he was rejected in Taif in one of the most painful episodes, physically injured, emotionally hurt, he did not respond with vengeance. Instead, he turned to Allah with a dua that reflects vulnerability, humility, and hope. This is something we need to understand deeply. Resilience in the Seerah is not about suppressing emotion. It is not about pretending that everything is fine. It is about feeling the pain, acknowledging it, and then choosing a response that is rooted in faith and purpose. In our time, many people equate strength with being unaffected. If you show emotion, it is seen as weakness. If you struggle, it is seen as failure. But the Seerah redefines strength. Strength is not the absence of pain. It is the ability to remain grounded despite it. It is the ability to continue moving forward, even when the path is difficult. And one of the most powerful tools we see in the Seerah for dealing with hardship is patience sabr. But we have to be careful here, because sabr is often misunderstood. It is not passive. It is not simply waiting for things to improve. It is active. It is Arabic, Alif Arabic, Sin Arabic, Ta Arabic, Mim Arabic, Rot Arabic, Alif Arabic. Rot in doing what is right, even when it is hard. It is holding on to your principles when circumstances are pushing you to let go. The Prophet, peace be upon him, demonstrated this repeatedly. In Makkah, when Muslims were being persecuted, when there was pressure to retaliate, to respond aggressively, he exercised restraint. Not because he was weak, but because he was strategic. Because he understood that not every reaction leads to a positive outcome. Sometimes, patience is the most powerful response. And then there is reliance on Allah tawakkul. This is another concept that is central to navigating stress and uncertainty. In a world where we are constantly trying to control outcomes, to plan every detail, to secure every possibility, the Seerah reminds us that there are limits to our control. We do our best. We take the necessary steps. But ultimately, we trust that the outcome is in Allah's hands. This does not mean inaction, it means balance. The Prophet, peace be upon him, tied his camel and then placed his trust in Allah. He planned migrations, formed alliances, took precautions. But his heart was always connected to something greater than the immediate situation. And this connection brings a Arabic, Noon Arabic, Wow Arabic, tain of calm that nothing else can provide. Because when you truly internalize that Allah is in control, that nothing happens without His knowledge, that every hardship has wisdom behind it even if you do not fully understand it, then your perspective begins to shift. Problems that once felt overwhelming begin to feel manageable. Uncertainty becomes less paralyzing. Fear begins to lose its grip. Another aspect of the Seerah that is deeply relevant to our modern struggles is the idea of hope. Despite the challenges, despite the setbacks, the Prophet, peace be upon him, never lost hope. Not in Allah, not in the message, not in the future. Even when the situation seemed bleak, he maintained a vision that extended beyond the present moment. And this is something many people struggle with today. When faced with repeated difficulties, it is easy to become cynical, to assume that things will not improve, to lose motivation. But the Seerah teaches us that hope is not Arabic, Mim Arabic, Jim Arabic, Rot Arabic, Dal optimism. It is a form of faith. It is believing that change is possible, that ease can follow hardship, that effort is never wasted. And when you combine patience, reliance, and hope, something powerful emerges: resilience. Not the kind that is loud or dramatic, but the kind that is steady, consistent, and deeply rooted. This resilience also shapes how we deal with others during times of stress. Often, when people are under pressure, they become harsh, impatient, or withdrawn. But the Prophet, peace be upon him, even in the most difficult moments, maintained his character. He remained compassionate. He continued to care for others. He did not allow his personal struggles to justify negative behavior. This is a profound lesson, because it reminds us that hardship does not give us a free pass to compromise our values. If anything, it is in hardship that our true character is revealed. And as we reflect on all of this, we begin to see that the Seerah is not just offering us stories of the past. It is offering us tools for the present. It is teaching us how to navigate a world that is fast, demanding, and often overwhelming. It is showing us that while we cannot always control what happens to us, we can control how we respond. We can choose patience over panic. We can choose trust over Arabic, Halif Arabic, Daida Arabic, Hot Arabic, Rot Arabic, Halif Arabic, Ba. We can choose hope over despair. And these choices, repeated over time, shape who we become. Because at the end of the day, it is not the absence of challenges that defines a meaningful life, but the way we rise through them. And when a person builds resilience, when they learn how to endure hardship with patience, to carry emotional weight without losing direction, something else begins to emerge naturally from that strength, a deeper awareness of others. Because true strength is not just about surviving your own struggles. It is about becoming Arabic, Het Arabic seen Arabic, Halif Arabic seen to the struggles of those around you. And this is where the Seerah elevates us to a higher level, not just personal growth, but social responsibility, justice, and compassion. When we reflect on the life of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, we see that his mission was never limited to individual Arabic, Tain Arabic, Ba Arabic, Halif Arabic, Dal Arabic, Halif Arabic, Ta or personal piety alone. It was about transforming society. It was about creating a community where dignity was preserved, where Arabic, Thot Arabic, Lam Arabic, Meme was challenged, and where every individual, regardless of their background, was given their Arabic, Het Arabic, Ath. Now think about the world we live in today. Inequality is everywhere. There are gaps between rich and poor that continue to widen. There are people who are marginalized, overlooked, or treated unfairly because of their race, their status, or their circumstances. There are systems that benefit a few while leaving many behind, and in such a world the message of the Seerah becomes not just relevant, it becomes urgent. Because the Seerah does not allow us to be indifferent, it does not allow us to say, "This is not my problem." It calls us to care. It calls us to act. It calls us to recognize that being a person of faith means being a person who stands for justice, even when it is uncomfortable, even when it requires sacrifice. One of the most powerful aspects of the Seerah is how it dismantled the hierarchies of its time. Society in Arabia was deeply tribal. Your worth was often determined by your lineage, your wealth, your connections. But the message that the Prophet, peace be upon him, brought challenged all of that. It redefined honor, not as something inherited, but as something earned through taqwa, through character, through righteousness. And this was not just Arabic, Kaf Arabic, Lam Arabic, Halif Arabic. Meme, it was lived reality. You had individuals who were once enslaved, standing shoulder to shoulder with those who came from noble tribes. You had people of different races, different backgrounds, united not by blood, but by belief. And the Prophet, peace be upon him, did not just preach equality, he embodied it. He sat with the poor, he listened to the Arabic, Daida Arabic, Tain Arabic, yet Arabic, Fa. He gave attention to those who were often ignored by society. There is a profound lesson here. Because today, even though we may not have the same tribal structures, we still create divisions. Sometimes based on wealth, sometimes based on education, sometimes even within our own communities. We categorize people, we prioritize some over others, and often without realizing it, we begin to mirror the very inequalities that the Seerah came to remove. But the Seerah calls us back to a different Arabic, Meme Arabic, Tain Arabic, yet Arabic, Halif Arabic, Rot. It reminds us that every human being carries dignity, that every individual deserves respect, that kindness is not selective, it is universal, and this is where compassion becomes central. The Prophet, peace be upon him, was not just he was deeply compassionate. He cared about people on a human level. He noticed when someone was struggling. He responded to Arabic, Alif Arabic, Lam Arabic, Het Arabic, Alif Arabic, Jim Arabic, Tetma, but he did not wait for people to prove their worth before extending kindness. He gave because it was part of who he was, and this compassion extended to every aspect of life. To neighbors, to travelers, to the poor, to orphans, even to animals. Nothing was beneath his attention. Nothing was too small to matter. Now reflect on our own lives. How often do we overlook opportunities to show compassion? How often do we become so focused on our own routines, our own goals, that we become Arabic, Ain Arabic, Alif Arabic, Fa Arabic, Lam of those around us? We pass by people in need, we hear about Arabic, Thought Arabic, Lam Arabic, Meme, but feel disconnected from it. We see injustice, but assume someone else will address it. The Seerah challenges this mindset. It reminds us that change does not always begin with grand gestures. It begins with awareness, with noticing, with caring enough to respond even in small ways. And at the same time, it teaches us that justice is not just about individual actions. It is about principles. It is about standing firm on what is right, even when it is not popular. The Prophet, peace be upon him, upheld justice even when it involved those close to him. He made it clear that no one is above accountability, that fairness is not conditional. This is incredibly important in today's world, where bias can influence decisions, where favoritism can undermine fairness, where power can be misused. The Seerah reminds us that true justice requires consistency. It requires courage. It requires a commitment to truth, even when it is difficult. And yet, what makes this balance so beautiful is that justice in the Seerah is never harsh or devoid of mercy. It is balanced with compassion. It recognizes human Arabic, Daida Arabic, Tain Arabic, Fa. It allows room for forgiveness. It encourages reconciliation. One of the most striking examples of this is the Arabic, Fa Arabic, Ta Arabic, Het of Makkah. After years of persecution, after being forced to leave his home, after facing hostility and Arabic, Thought Arabic, Lam Arabic, Meme, the Prophet, peace be upon him, returned with strength. And at that moment he had the authority to take revenge. He had the power to respond in kind. But what did he choose? He chose forgiveness, not because justice did not matter, but because he understood that sometimes mercy achieves what punishment cannot. That sometimes hearts are transformed not through force, but through compassion. This is a level of Arabic, Alif Arabic, Get Arabic, Lam Arabic, Alif Arabic, that goes beyond what most of us are accustomed to. Because when we are wronged, our instinct is often to respond, to defend, to reclaim. And while justice is important, the Seerah teaches us to rise above personal ego, to ask what response will bring the most Arabic, Alif Arabic, Lam Arabic, Get Arabic, Yet Arabic, what action will lead to real change, and this perspective reshapes how we engage with the world. It moves us from being reactive to being intentional, from being self-centered to being community-oriented, from focusing only on our rights to also fulfilling our responsibilities. And ultimately, this is what the Seerah is calling us toward, a society where justice and compassion are not separate ideals, but intertwined realities, where people are valued not for what they have, but for who they are, where strength is measured not by dominance, but by the ability to uplift others. Because at the end of the day, Arabic, Alif Arabic, Lam Arabic, Meme Arabic, Jim Arabic, Ta Arabic, Meme Arabic, Tain is not judged by how it treats its strongest members, but by how it cares for its weakest. And when a society begins to internalize justice and compassion, the next natural question is, how do we sustain it? How do we ensure that these values are not just ideals we speak about, but realities we live by, because values on their own are not enough. They need structure, they need leadership, they need wise decision making, especially in moments of tension and conflict. And this is where the Seerah offers one of its most profound lessons: how to lead, and how to resolve conflict with wisdom, foresight, and restraint. When we look at the life of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, we are not just looking at a spiritual guide. We are looking at a statesman, a negotiator, a community builder. He dealt with internal disagreements, external threats, political alliances, and social tensions, all while maintaining a moral compass that never wavered. And this is precisely what makes his example so relevant in our time, where leadership is often reduced to authority, and conflict is often handled with reaction rather than reflection. One of the most striking aspects of his leadership was his ability to remain calm under pressure. When emotions run high, when stakes are elevated, most people react impulsively. They speak quickly, they act hastily, and often they escalate situations without realizing it. But the Prophet, peace be upon him, demonstrated a different approach. He listened, he observed, he gave space for emotions to settle before making decisions. This ability to pause, to not be controlled by the immediacy of the moment, is a rare quality, but it is essential for effective leadership. And alongside this calmness was his commitment to consultation, *Shura*. Despite being guided by revelation, he regularly consulted his companions. He asked for their opinions, he valued their perspectives, and this was not symbolic, it was genuine. There were moments when decisions were made based on the suggestions of others, even when those suggestions differed from his initial inclination. Now think about how powerful this is: a leader who does not isolate himself, a leader who does not assume that he always knows best, a leader who empowers others to contribute. This creates a sense of ownership within the community. It builds trust, it strengthens unity, because people feel heard, valued, and included. In today's context, whether in organizations, communities, or even within families, this principle is incredibly important. Leadership is not about control. It is about facilitation. It is about creating an environment where ideas can be shared, where Arabic, Alif Arabic, Get Arabic, Ta Arabic, Lam Arabic, Alif Arabic, Fa can exist without turning into division, where decisions are made with wisdom rather than ego. And this becomes even more critical when dealing with conflict. Conflict is unavoidable. Wherever there are people, there will be differences in opinion, in perspective, in interest. The question is not whether conflict will occur, but how we respond to it. And the Seerah provides a framework that is both principled and practical. Take, for example, the event of Treaty of Hudaybiyah. On the surface, it appeared to be a disadvantageous agreement for the Arabic, Alif Arabic, Lam Arabic, Mim Arabic, Sin Arabic, Lam Arabic, Mim Arabic, Yet Arabic, Noon. The terms seemed one-sided. Some of the companions found it difficult to accept. Emotions were high. There was frustration, confusion, even Arabic, Alif Arabic, Deen Arabic, Ta Arabic, Rot Arabic, Alif Arabic, Daida. But the Prophet, peace be upon him, saw beyond the immediate. He understood the long-term implications. He recognized that peace, even with seemingly unfavorable terms, would create stability. It would open doors for dialogue, for interaction, for the message to spread without the constant shadow of conflict. And history proved this decision to be one of the most strategic in the Seerah. This teaches us something crucial. Not every situation should be approached with confrontation. Not every disagreement needs to be won in the moment. Sometimes wisdom lies in patience, in choosing a path that may not satisfy immediate emotions, but leads to greater benefit in the long run. And this requires a shift in mindset, because often we approach conflict with a win-lose mentality. We want to prove a point, we want to assert ourselves, We want to come out on top, but the Seerah invites us to think differently. It encourages us to ask, what outcome will bring the most Arabic, get Arabic, yet Arabic, rot? What approach will preserve relationships while still upholding principles? This balance is not easy. It requires emotional intelligence. It requires self-control. It requires the ability to separate personal ego from objective decision making. And then there is the Arabic, va-Arabic, ta-Arabic, het of Makkah, another moment that defines leadership at its highest level. After years of persecution, the Arabic, alif Arabic, lam Arabic, meme Arabic, sin Arabic, lam Arabic, meme Arabic, yet Arabic, noon entered Makkah with strength. This was a moment where retaliation could have been justified, where revenge could have been expected. But instead, what we see is restraint, mercy, and dignity. The Prophet, peace be upon him, did not use power to settle personal scores. He used it to restore justice, to establish peace, and to unify people. He forgave those who had wronged him. He removed the symbols of oppression, but he did not humiliate individuals. This is leadership that rises above personal grievances. Leadership that understands that true victory is not in domination, but in transformation. And this is something we desperately need today, because in many parts of the world, leadership is driven by ego, by control, by the desire to maintain authority at all costs. Conflicts are escalated rather than resolved, differences are exploited rather than managed, and as a result, divisions deepen. The Seerah offers a different model, a model where strength is balanced with mercy, where authority is guided by accountability, where decisions are rooted in wisdom, not impulse, and this model is not limited to political or organizational leadership. It applies to all of us. Each of us, in our own capacity, is a leader. In our families, in our friendships, in our workplaces, we influence others. We make decisions that affect those around us. We navigate conflicts, big and small. And in all of these situations, the principles of the Seerah remain relevant. When there is disagreement, do we listen or do we react? When there is tension, do we escalate or do we de-escalate? When we have power, do we use it to serve or to control? These are questions that define our character as leaders. And perhaps one of the most important lessons here is humility, because leadership, when disconnected from humility, becomes dangerous. It becomes self-serving. It loses its Arabic, alif Arabic, get Arabic, lam Arabic, alif Arabic, af. But when humility is present, leadership becomes a means of Arabic, get Arabic, dal Arabic, meme Arabic tet. But it becomes a responsibility, not a privilege. The Prophet, peace be upon him, never saw himself as above others. Despite his status, he lived simply. He served his family. He sat with his companions as one of them. This humility did not diminish his authority. It strengthened it, because people followed him not out of fear, but out of love and respect. And that is the kind of leadership that leaves a lasting legacy. So when we reflect on the Seerah in the context of leadership and conflict resolution, we are not just learning how to manage situations. We are learning how to elevate them, how to turn moments of tension into opportunities for growth, how to transform Arabic, alif Arabic, get Arabic, ta Arabic, lam Arabic, alif Arabic, fa into understanding. How to use influence not to divide, but to unite. Because at the end of the day, true leadership is not about being in control of others, but about being in control of yourself. And once we understand leadership as responsibility, not dominance, we are led naturally into the final and perhaps most personally relevant dimension of the Seerah, how to live a balanced life. Because after all the discussion about character, resilience, justice, and leadership, the question that quietly remains in the heart of every individual is this: how do I live in this world without losing myself in it? How do I engage with ambition without becoming consumed by it? How do I fulfill my duties in this life while still remembering the purpose of the next? And here again, the life of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, does not offer theory, it offers lived reality. It shows us a human being who was fully engaged in the world, yet never spiritually lost within it. A man who carried immense responsibilities, spiritual, political, social, and familial, yet never allowed any one dimension to overwhelm the others. And this is what makes his life so profoundly relevant to our modern condition, where imbalance has almost become the norm. We live in an age of extremes. Some people throw themselves entirely into worldly pursuits, career, wealth, status, until their spiritual life becomes neglected, almost forgotten. Others, in reaction, withdraw from the world, distancing themselves from responsibility, thinking that spirituality requires detachment from engagement. And many others live in constant tension between the two, feeling guilty no matter what they choose. But the Seerah presents a third way. Not escapism, not excess, but balance. And this balance begins with intention. The Prophet, peace be upon him, transformed ordinary actions into acts of worship simply by anchoring them in purpose. Eating, sleeping, working, spending time with family, none of these were disconnected from his relationship with Allah. They were all integrated into it. This is a revolutionary idea if we think about it deeply. It means that spirituality is not confined to specific rituals or moments. It is a lens through which all of life is viewed. So when a person works to provide for their family, that is not separate from their faith. When a person learns a skill, pursues education, builds a business, or contributes to society, these are not distractions from spirituality, they are part of it, when done with the right intention. And this is where the Seerah liberates us from a false dichotomy that many people struggle with. The idea that you must choose between dunya and deen as if they are in constant opposition. The Prophet, peace be upon him, never lived that contradiction. He was deeply spiritual, spending nights in prayer, in reflection, in devotion. Yet during the day, he was fully engaged with people, teaching, resolving disputes, leading, building a community. There was no separation between his inner life and outer life. There was coherence, there was alignment. And this coherence is something many of us are missing today. We often compartmentalize our lives. We have a work self, a social self, a religious self. And sometimes these versions of ourselves do not even resemble each other. But the Seerah calls us toward integration, to become one consistent person across all contexts, to be the same in private and public, to be guided by the same values whether we are alone or surrounded by people. And this integration is not only spiritual, it is emotional as well. The Prophet, peace be upon him, experienced joy and sorrow, success and difficulty, ease and hardship. But none of these states defined him permanently. He was not consumed by success, nor destroyed by difficulty. He remained anchored. This is a powerful lesson for a world that often swings between emotional extremes. When things go well, people become overly attached, placing their entire sense of identity in temporary success. When things go badly, they fall into despair, as if that moment defines their entire future. But the Seerah teaches emotional stability. It teaches that life is a series of changing conditions, not a single defining moment. And at the heart of this stability is remembrance, dhikr, not as an isolated ritual, but as a continuous awareness of Allah in daily life. This remembrance is what keeps the heart centered. It is what prevents success from becoming arrogance and prevents hardship from becoming despair. It is what allows a person to remain grounded, regardless of external circumstances. But balance in the Seerah is not only internal, it is also relational. The Prophet, peace be upon him, gave attention to every aspect of life without neglecting any. He was a husband who gave time and affection to his wives. He was a father who showed care and concern for his children. He was a leader who carried the weight of the community. And yet, despite all these roles, he did not abandon his personal connection with Allah. This is something many people struggle with today. They feel that if they invest in their family, they are neglecting their personal growth. If they focus on work, they are neglecting their spirituality. If they focus on worship, they are neglecting their responsibilities. But the Seerah shows that these are not mutually exclusive. They are interconnected when approached with the right mindset. Balance also means understanding priorities. Not everything in life carries the same weight. The Prophet, peace be upon him, taught us through his actions that while everything has its place, some things must always take precedence. Faith comes first, principles come first, integrity comes first, and everything else is arranged around them. This clarity of priorities is something modern life often obscures. We are pulled in multiple directions. We are told that everything is equally urgent, equally important. But without a clear hierarchy of values, life becomes chaotic. Decisions become reactive rather than intentional, and over time, a person may find themselves successful in many areas, yet still Arabic, Sheen Arabic, Tain Arabic, Rot Arabic, Ba Arabic, Halif Arabic, Lam Arabic, Dida Arabic, yet Arabic, Halif Arabic, Tain, still feeling lost. The Seerah brings clarity back. It teaches that success is not measured by how much we accumulate, but by how aligned we are with purpose. It teaches that productivity without meaning is empty, and meaning without action is incomplete. And perhaps one of the most beautiful aspects of this balance is that it is sustainable. It is not extreme, it is not overwhelming, it is not reserved for a select few. It is accessible. It is lived gradually, through consistent effort, through small daily choices that align with larger values. So when we speak about balancing Deen and Dunya, we are not speaking about dividing life into competing sections. We are speaking about unifying life under a single purpose, a purpose that allows work to become worship, relationships to become mercy, challenges to become growth, and everyday routines to become meaningful. And when a person begins to live in this way, something shifts internally. Life feels less fragmented. There is less internal conflict. There is more clarity in decision making, more peace in the heart. Not because life becomes easier, but because life becomes aligned. And that alignment is ultimately what the Seerah calls us toward. Not perfection, not isolation, not imbalance, but a life that is whole. A life where every part has its place. A life where the heart is connected to Allah while the hands are active in the world. A life that is engaged but not consumed. A life that is meaningful but not overwhelming. Because at the end of it all, the true success of a human being is not in how much they do, but in how rightly they live, and how faithfully they return to their purpose in every moment.